This video is brought to you by Jab.se, the lead supplier of MMA gear in Scandinavia. BetSafe.com, Europe's only online betting site for MMA.
Sisu Mouthguard. Stronger, thinner. This is the game changer.
This is Marcus Korva with MMA Nut, and we're here in Las Vegas, Mandalay Bay, for UFC 156. Dana, it's been a long day for you. How is it? Is it still as exciting for every single fight?
Yeah, you know what? I love this stuff, man. I love all the lead up to the fights, and I love when we get to this point of the fight. My favorite part is today was the press conference. The press conference kind of gets it going, and then boom, by Friday for the weigh-ins, I'm fired up, and then Saturday it's just, all downhill from there. I love this shit, man. I seriously, I live for this. I love it.
You have a pretty decent lineup. You got a great main event, but you have 3 main card fights that could potentially be main events in themselves.
Right.
Especially for European watchers, this whole Super Bowl weekend, what is it about? Every year you do it really, really big.
Yeah, so Super Bowl is, a lot of people don't realize this, but the Super Bowl here in the United States is the biggest sporting event of the year. I mean, people who don't even watch football watch the Super Bowl. So everybody comes into Vegas. Vegas is jam-packed. People are here gambling, partying, betting on the Super Bowl. And the day that the Super Bowl happens, every place is packed. Not just the casinos, but people putting on private parties inside the casinos, at their homes. I mean, when Super Bowl goes off, the roads are empty. I mean, everybody's at home watching the game. So on Saturday night, the night before, everybody comes into town and people are looking for something to do. They all come to the UFC, and the UFC events are always huge. So we stack the cards, we make them great events, and we blow it out every year.
The Ultimate Fighter show, season 17, sees the second Swede on there, Thor. And we already hearing a buzz about how he's doing on there. The first one that was on there was Hamid Khorazani. How's he doing on the show? How is he as a person for you to look at him as a professional fighter?
No, it's great. He comes in and he represents. He represents for you guys. And you just said something to me, and I almost blew something, because you can't talk to me about these guys because you're going to make me slip up and make a mistake. We threaten these guys' lives that they can't talk about the show, and then you guys almost got me into saying something stupid there. But yeah, let me just say he represents.
Good to know. Good to know. And do you see a future for him in the UFC?
Yes.
Regardless of what happens on the show?
Yeah, he has a future in the UFC.
Is there anything on this season that you haven't seen in other seasons previously?
Yeah, I would say, if you asked me, still one of my favorite seasons ever, obviously, is the original. Number one. I would have to say that, but this season might have the best fights in the 17 seasons of The Ultimate Fighter.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, April 6th, you're coming back to Sweden. I know a lot of fans are really, really happy about it. You're coming back to Globen, which, when you came to Sweden last year, it was the fastest, it sold out the tickets the fastest in the history of the UFC outside of the United States. There's a new arena, the Friends Arena. People are saying, why didn't you go there? That holds 65,000 people.
Oh God! When you make a decision to pull the trigger on a 65,000 seat arena, you know what I mean? We're very happy with what we did there last time. You don't want to get greedy, and you don't want to go in there and overshoot it. But I can tell you this, and I'm not just saying this because I'm doing an interview with Swedish TV or wherever we are here. It was so badass. That last fight when we went to Sweden, not only did I like Sweden very much, I didn't get to stay there long enough. I was only there really overnight.
Right.
But in just one night. So any of you that are watching that have never been to Sweden, and if tickets don't go crazy like they did last time, this is a place that's worth making the trip over to go to the fights, and the fights are going to be awesome. I think the Mousasi fight is, that's going to be a sick fight.
And people might not realize, watching the UFC, might not have been watching Strikeforce as much, and hardcore fans know, but Gegard Mousasi versus Alexander Gustafsson, would you say this is Alexander's biggest test to date?
There's no doubt this is going to be an awesome fight. Well, Shogun was without a doubt his biggest test.
Right.
Shogun is a friggin' legend. Shogun has accomplished things that some men will never accomplish in this sport. That was his biggest fight. But that being said, this Mousasi fight, man, people don't realize what a tough fight this is going to be for Gustafsson. But my point was, we went that night, we went to the fight, it was awesome. The people there, the fans were awesome. Then we were staying in this hotel And, you get out after, there's nowhere to eat, everything's closed. We went to a McDonald's across the street from the and this McDonald's was 2 floors, jam-packed with people. And it was like a party at McDonald's. I mean, everybody was so cool. We had the best time, and everybody in the place was cool. Sweden is awesome, and if you've never been and you can make it to the Sweden event, do it. Do it.
Are you going to try to stay a little bit longer this time around?
I want to go in. I want to go in like a week early. I'd like to go in there like Tuesday, and be there for a few days because I really, really enjoyed it.
Hopefully we'll get to see you more in Sweden, Dana. Last question for you. Often when you go into new markets, it's almost like that country versus other countries. This time around, you have 2 Swedes facing each other. I don't know how familiar you are with it at this point, but it's Bessam Youssef fighting Papi Abedi. It's a go hard or go home for them, and what was the thinking behind putting 2 Swedes against each other?
You know, when we put 2 Brazilians against each other in Brazil acts pretty weird about it. How are Swedes about Swedes fighting each other?
Well, it's kind of funny. It seems to be working because it's a lot of talks already about it, and I guess we'll find out. But it's West Coast versus East Coast.
Right. Yeah. We're going to find out. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, obviously, what you do is when you go into a market like that and you have 2 guys from the same country fight each other, that guy becomes the man from there. There's no questions about, if they fought separate people, like if Mousasi was on the card and Gustafsson were on the card, people would be going, oh, but Mousasi would probably beat, or Gustafsson would probably beat Mousasi. They're going to fight each other. So the guy who wins that fight is going to be the man back there. And the same thing with the other fight. That's the way I look at it.
Absolutely. Last question for you. Actually, I don't know if you remember, at the Ultimate Fighter tryouts, me and Martin Svensson, there was a guy big, you said he was too big to be at the 145 division. He just called out Reza Madadi, who actually fought in Sweden last year. He's not in the UFC, but talking about a hype up, it's been all over the internet in Sweden. Would that be something that you guys would potentially consider?
I don't know. You know what? Ask Joe Silva that question.
Joe Silva will ask you that question. Dana, thank you very much for your time. I'm looking forward to seeing you in Sweden April 6th.
Pleasure. Me too.
Oh my God. Programmet presenteras av betsafe.com.